Jesus says, "Lo, I stand at the door and knock." Jesus is knocking on the door of your heart today.
When men get alone, if in their loneliness the thought of death forces itself upon them, they boast no more of goodness. It is not easy for a man to lie on his bed seeing the naked face of death, not at a distance, but feeling that his breath is breathing upon the skeleton, and that he must soon pass through the iron gates of death. It is not easy for a man to plead his self-righteousness then. The bony fingers thrust themselves like daggers into his proud flesh. "Ah," saith grim death, in tones which cannot be heard by mortal ear, but which are listened to by the mortal heart, "where now are all thy glories?" He looks upon the man, and the wreath of laurel that was upon his brow fades and falls to the earth like blasted flowers. He touches his breast, and the star of honor which he wore moulders, and is quenched into darkness. He looks at him yet again. That breastplate of self-righteousness which glittered upon him like golden mail suddenly dissolves into dust, like the apples of Sodom before the touch of the gatherer, and the man finds himself, to his own surprise, naked and poor and miserable, when most he needed to be rich, when most he required to be happy and to be blessed. Aye, sinner, even while this sermon is being uttered, you may seek to refute it to yourself and say, "Well, I believe I am as good as others, and that this fuss about a new birth, imputed righteousness, and being washed in blood is all unnecessary." But in the loneliness of your silent chamber, especially when death shall be your dread and grim companion, you shall not need me to state this. You shall see it clearly enough yourselves, see it with eyes of horror, and feel it with a heart of dismay, and despair and perish, because thou hast despised the righteousness of Christ. How abundantly true, however, will this be at the day of judgment! I think I see that day of fire, that day of wrath. You are gathered as a great multitude before the eternal throne. Those who are robed in Christ's fine linen, which is the righteousness of the saints, are caught up to the right hand. And now the trumpet sounds. If there be any that have kept the law of God, if there be faultless ones, if there be any that have never sinned, let them stand forth and claim the promised reward. But if not, let the pit engulf the sinner. Let the fiery thunderbolt be launched upon the impenitent offenders. Now stand forth, sir, and clear thyself. Come forth, my friend, and claim the reward, because of the church you endowed, or the row of almshouses that you erected. What? What? Does your tongue lie dumb in your mouth? Come forward. Come forward, you who said you had been a good citizen, had fed the hungry and clothed the naked. Come forward now, and claim the reward. What? What? Is your face turned to whiteness? Is there an ashy paleness on your cheek? Come forward, ye multitudes of those who rejected Christ and despised his blood. Come now and say, "All the commandments have I kept from my youth up." What? Are you seized with horror? Has the better light of judgment driven out the darkness of your self-righteousness? Oh, I see you. I see you. Ye are not boasting now. But you, the best of you, are crying, "Ye rocks, hide me! Ye mountains, open your stony bowels, and let me hide myself from the face of him that sits upon the throne." Why such a coward? Come, face it out before your Maker. Come up, infidel, now. Tell God there is no God. Come, while hell is flaming in your nostrils. Come and say there is no hell. Or tell the Almighty that you never could bear to hear a hellfire sermon preached. Come now and accuse the minister of cruelty, or say that we love to talk on these terrible themes. Let me not mock you in your misery, but let me picture to you how devils shall mock you. Aha, say they, where is your courage now? Are your ribs of iron and your bones of brass? Will you dare the Almighty now, and dash yourselves upon the bosses of his buckler, or run upon his glittering spear? See them as they sink. The gulf has swallowed them up, the earth has closed again, and they are gone. A solemn silence falls upon the ear. But hark below, if you could descend with them, you would hear their doleful groans and hollow moans, as now they feel that the God omnipotent was right and just, and wise and tender when he bade them forsake their righteousness and flee to Christ, and lay hold on him that can save to the uttermost them that come to God by him.